around you, stand this so that this bird doesn't obstruct you.
We are here because we have a visitor, Ms. Lesego Montsho. Ms. Lesego Montsho is somebody who is very enthusiastic, and she likes to work with students, especially with regard to issues of education. Am I clear that side? Huh? So without wasting any time, I will hand over to her.
Good afternoon, Bana.
Good afternoon, madam. May God bless you, madam.
Thank you so much. Is my voice clear from each end? Are you able to hear me? Yeah, okay. My name is Lesego. Okay? So I came here because there's something very important that I need to share with you, because you are the candidate for the Denjebuya School. I get it. Yes. So you're left with only a few months until you write your final examinations. I get it. So as students, I know that you all of you here, the most important reason why you're here is because you want to get an education. I get it. Yes, ma'am. You want to excel. You want to see yourself attaining grades by the end of this year. I get it. But as students, I know that as well. We have certain challenges that you come across, particularly when it comes to study. Not everyone has figured out the best way to study or the best way to do their academics effectively. I get it. So at this point, I'm just going to be as brief as I can, sharing with you some of the most effective study strategies that you can adopt and use as a candidate, and they will help you in one way or another. I get it. So I've been given limited time by parents here, so I have to make sure that I'm within time. There's a lot that I can share, but because of time, I have to do as I can. So along my journey as a student in university, I have been in a position where sometimes I don't know which method of study should I use, but luckily along the way there's certain strategies, a set of strategies that I came across that were really helpful in my journey. So this one I was sharing, there's a certain strategy that I have used myself, and I was sharing with you here. It's actually a study strategy or study techniques, a set of study techniques. And these study techniques, I have formulated a word which summarizes like an acronym. It's cider, okay? This cider is written like this. There's S, there's I, there's D, there's E, and then there's I, okay? Yeah. So the first letter, which is S, stands for spaced practice. Spaced practice. Am I audible? Okay. Spaced practice. So spaced practice is whereby you are studying a certain topic today or a particular topic within a subject, and then you take a space, you give yourself a space of 2 to 3 days without studying that subject again. First to allow the concept that you are learning to get into your brain, to be absorbed. And then you come back 2 or 3 days after you have studied that particular topic so that you can see if you are able to do it. Okay? So this helps you to improve what you call your calling ability. Okay? Yeah, so that's the first letter. S for spaced practice. Okay? The second letter that we have is what is called interleaving. Interleaving. Leaving as in you are leaving to go. Interleaving. Or you can call it switching. Interleaving / switching. So interleaving or switching technique, this is whereby when you are studying, let's say you have a 3-hour study session at home in the evening, And then you decide that in your 3-hour study session, you don't just study one topic. You study, or you don't just study one subject. You study different topics that are from different subjects, but they are interlinked in a way. Let's say maybe you're studying soil profile in agriculture, and then you go to do soil erosion in science, and then you go and do something else. But these topics at the end of the day, they have a relation. So that is what we call interleaving or switching. You switch among the topics. This helps you to be able to develop a deeper understanding of a particular subject or just this topic, and you are able to form links between them, how they are linked. It makes you to enjoy learning. You don't just learn to cram, and because when you cram, you are bound to forget what you learned. But when you do interleaving or switching the topics, it makes it more interesting for you as a learner. You develop the passion, the hunger, and just the enjoyment of school. Like you want to do something that you enjoy, and to do something that you feel that is interesting for you as a learner. I get it. Okay. The next letter that we have is the D, which is dual code. Dual code 2, okay? Dual coding. So with the dual coding, this is a technique whereby you combine two things. This is the use of diagrams and the use of words. This technique mostly works when you are dealing with subjects like science, where you have to know the structure or the anatomy of the heart, you have to know the chambers. So you are required here to be able to know the diagrams, even without words. When we point a certain part of the diagram, you should be able to know that this is the aorta, this is the left ventricle, this is what, right? Yeah. So that is dual coding. Same thing applies to words. When you see a certain part, maybe it's the function being described, you should be able to know that, oh, this is this party thing here that I'm talking about, and it's located in this region, okay? So that is dual coding. Being able to pin words to diagrams and vice versa, being able to pin diagrams to words. The next strategy that we have, are we together though? Yes. Okay. The next strategy that we have is what is called elaboration. Elaboration. So with elaboration, you ask yourself questions. It's all about questions. You ask yourself questions, you put away books. You take books, and then you maybe textbook and notes, and then you put them there. You start asking yourself questions. Everything that you've taught, you ask yourself questions, and then you try to answer those questions. If at all you don't get a question or you're unsure of the question, you open the book and check if it's correct. I guess most of you use this technique, whereby how valuable are they? Let's say you're doing science, you're trying to understand the water cycle. You ask yourself, is condensation, what is condensation? When vapor changes into, or when the vapor cools and then it forms clouds, right? So you ask yourself those kind of questions, and you see if you are able to describe these processes without taking the book. And then you go for the books for reference to see if at all you're getting what you have to get. Yeah, so that is called elaboration. The last strategy, which is really important, you need to use this one. It's called retrieval practice. Retrieval practice. So with the retrieval practice, just as the word suggests, to retrieve is to recall something again. So this particular strategy is all about you now not opening books at all. Don't touch your books, don't touch your books. You just take a clean, you can do it in two ways. You can take a clean sheet of paper, and then let's say it's today again. What are you attending today? Which subjects did you attend today? Science or math, right? Yeah. So whatever subject you are attending today, when you get home, you take a clean sheet of paper, and then you write down everything you can remember. You don't touch the book. You just try to see if you are able to remember every single detail of the topics you learned on this. Okay? So that's what we call a retrieval The reason why this technique is important is because it improves your ability to remember concepts, okay? So the brain is like a muscle. It's a part of the body. If you don't practice, it doesn't know what to do. You're the one who is in control of it. You're the one who teaches what to do. So the more that you practice this thing of try to remember or try to recall what you learned in the day, every day when you get home before you sleep, you take a clean piece of paper and you write down every single thing. It doesn't matter how many subjects you are taking. Take a piece of paper. If you attended math, you try to remember, okay, today we did geometry. This is the formula that I saw. This is writing on the board. This is what he said. This is everything that you can. So this helps to strengthen your memory, and it will help you a lot when it comes to exams. It also reduces your time for study, because by the time you reach your exams, a lot of things you are able to remember because of this practice. And then still under the retrieval practice, you can use what is called past papers. I believe you all have past papers, right? Yeah. So you take your past revision papers or past exams that you've written before, and then you try to ask yourself, or you try to test yourself, answer those questions without checking anything, and make sure that you answer them. So this helps you to build or improve your memory. Maybe before covering this, I should have shared with you something interesting. I don't know if time allows. Does time allow?
Continue.
Okay. So, just like I mentioned, the brain is a very, very interesting part of the brain. And if you have control over your brain, there's nothing that you cannot control. Do you understand? Yeah, so you may be sitting there thinking that you are not gifted or other students are not gifted. But I will tell you something. Hard work can beat talent if talent is not hard. So if you work hard, if you take some of these strategies, you implement them, even if there's someone who's talented naturally or that's gifted naturally, you can still outshine them. The idea is not to compete, but to compete with yourself. You can still be better than the person that you were today or yesterday. So what happens with the brain is that it's built in such a way that it has two important regions that play an important role in how we remember things and how we process information as students, okay? So there are two important regions. The other one is called hippocampus. I don't know if you've heard of that region. Anyone? Okay. But don't worry about these terms. They're not important. Just take the important message behind it. So this region called hippocampus is a region in the brain that is responsible for what we call short-term memory, okay? So just like she said here that she learned science today. Whatever topic they were doing today, what topic were you doing? Okay, mixtures and molecules. So she was doing mixtures and molecules today. What happens is that information is new to her. It's new to her brain. It's new. It's something that maybe she's never seen before. It's her first time encountering it. When such information that's new to you as a person comes, it goes to this region that we call hippocampus, because it's the region that deals with short-term memory. Okay? So what happens when information is in short-term memory? It can be easily eroded. Did you hear that? It can easily disappear. That's why when you come to class next week and teacher asks you, what did we do last week? Majority of people don't know. It's because that information, even though they learned it, was in the short term. It was new to them and they didn't do anything with it. So because it was in short memory, it disappeared. And then there's another region that we call it in the brain. It's called neocortex. Okay? Neocortex. So neocortex is the opposite of hippocampus. This one deals with the long-term memory. Okay? So this is where skills that you keep on seeing over and over again, they join residence into your brain. That's why like I can't just like a true what you see. You still tell you that is the study of it. Why? Because you've had it over and over again. So because the brain is a muscle, like I was saying, with that exercise of hearing that thing over and over again, it has built in you or in your memory, your neurons have allowed it to be transferred into your long-term. I get it. So what you need as a student is to make sure that you work hard towards making sure that your long-term memory is strengthened, okay? And you strengthen your long-term memory by practicing these 5 strategies that I just shared. Again, for things to enter into long-term memory, it happens through practice, okay? When you continuously practice, when you do retrieval practice, it's like a bodybuilder or someone who goes to the gym. The reason why they become muscular or they have a lean shape is because they do the exercise every day without failure. I get it. So the same thing applies to it. You have to give it that exercise that is called retrieval practice every day. The habits of high-performing students. Students who are high-performing have been studied in so many researches, and there's a certain pattern that has been recognized about Lauda. And this habit, anyone can adopt it. You're not performing well right now, but the moment you follow these patterns, you adopt them, you are like, I'm changing my life, I'm starting to do these patterns or these practices that I used by heart. And you see the same change, you see the same result. Louder. In this world, anything that's been done, you can still do it by following the same process that has worked for other people. Louder. Okay, there's nothing that's hard, there's nothing that we can say that only certain people can do. If you study the pattern, how they do it, you can also do it. Okay? So these habits, I'm just going to share 5 of them. The first one that we have is called flow state. Have you heard of flow state? Anyone? Okay. So flow state is a state where flow state, flow water flow. Okay? Flow state. So flow state is whereby when you are studying or when you are doing any task that given in school, whether it's an exercise, during class time, whether it's you studying your own independent study, all of it, you become so concentrated that nothing else happening around you does not matter. Do you understand? You become so focused that because you're so immersed in the work that you're doing. Again, I believe this is a trait that you have seen in students who are high. I'll still focus on the details. This state involves you finding a quiet place. You sit in a quiet place and you tell yourself that for these 3 hours or 2 hours that I have my time, I'm just going to sit here until I finish this particular task. Whether it's a homework, whether it's a certain area or topic that you're studying. You sit there until you master important concepts that I get it. So that is what we call flow state. Flow state is all about having what is known as hyper-focus. So most hyper-focused students are hyper-focused. When they are doing a task, they become so focused on it that anything else does not matter around. The second habit that high-performing students have what is known as growth mindset. They adopt growth mindset. Have you ever heard of a growth mindset? Okay. So with the growth mindset, this is just a mindset that we have so much hunger, we have so much desire, we have so much interest and passion to learn, okay? Not just the learning things that you are provided with on a daily basis. You even go beyond what you are provided with. So that's what we call growth mindset. People who have growth mindset are very curious. They always go beyond what maybe is expected of them. I get it. But the implicit, they even, you have to even give your teachers extra. Such that they say that because they're good student, I don't accept it like you make me, I not and to learn. You understand? So that's the growth mindset. It's a habit that most high performing students have, or it's common among high performers. Okay? And then the first thing that high performing students have is the willingness to pay the price. Willingness to pay the price. Willingness to pay the price. So what do you mean by willingness to pay the price? All of us here, we have one desire. But only a few are willing to work towards that. Only a few are willing to make sacrifices. To say that, I'm still working on this. I get it. When everyone else is like, me, Mujoli, the other person is like, no, I need to get this thing first and make sure that I get ahead and have my priorities right. I get it. So that is what we call paying the price. Paying the price means that you deprive yourself certain things for the sake of attaining a certain goal that you have. So this includes even things like social media. How many of you here on social media? TikTok. I'm a TikTok. So paying the price involves you knowing that I'm left with only 4 months for my final examination. And TikTok will always be there. Even when I'm done with the exam, to be there. Even when you go to university, to be there. I get it. So you tell yourself that for the next 4 months, I deactivate my social media. I'm not on social media until that is what we do. You make certain sacrifices that tomorrow they'll benefit you. I get it. So they're always willing to pay the price. And then the next thing that high performing students do is that they have what we call a productive daily plan or daily routine. They have a productive daily plan or daily routine or a to-do list. So I know that how many of you here have 10 people? 10 people? Okay, just a few. I'm going to make a it doesn't help to have a timetable. I get it. I get it. So, what is really, really important? There's no way to do everything. So, the daily to-do list helps you in achieving the bigger goals. Louder. So in this one, what you do, everyone how to do cross tab. You take a piece of paper or a sticky note if you have a sticky, or just paper from your Excel, and on that paper you write every single thing that you're going to do for a day. I get it. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I get it. Even a day does not plan, the failed day. If you don't have a plan for the day, you failed in your day. So having a daily routine helps you to check, or are you productive or not? So what you do here is you write, okay, I get to school, I attend from 8 a.m. to, when is your last lesson? 4. Half 1. You write that from 4 to half 1, I'm attending. That's what you do, I get it. And then from half 1 to, what time is your study? Half 4, I get it. From that time to half 4, this is my study, or maybe you are doing projects. it doesn't matter, but just make sure you're going to what you're going to do. Again. And then after that, when the bell rings, that tells you to go home. You write what it is that you're going to do from that time until you get home. If you're going to wash dishes, you write that between this time and this time, dishes. Again, if you are cooking anything that you're doing, yeah, cooking. And then also, if you are studying a certain subject, you write maths. How long will it take you? Again, before you sleep, I can always get late again. So you keep ticking. Not where you listen. You tick. That's tasking. Again, how I did your progression, you tick. The study time you were there in the studies, you tick. The cooking or dishes, you tick. And then the math that you were studying, you tick. So you see that you have been able to track your productivity. You know that my day was productive. I wrote 4 things on my phone and I did all the 4 things. So I did the 3 things. Tomorrow, because I did the 3 things, I didn't do the 4th one, I'll do better. I'll make sure that you see that you are able to see your progress each and every day. So it becomes a daily thing. Every day you write every single thing you're going to do. Then how you go to this, if you're going to the library or you're going to visit your friend or anything that you're doing, you do only to do. Okay? This helps you to know where you're going again. And then the last thing that we have is what we highly performing students. They have this thing where they surround themselves with great people, louder. They surround themselves with what? Or they surround themselves with great things. Okay? One of the common thing is that the average of the 5 people that you hang with. Have you heard of that? Yes. It's true. If you move around with 5 tips, we're now going to be 6 louder. You're going to soon or later. That characteristics, habits, manners are going to rub off on you by association. Again, we're not going to look at that. So you can't go wrong when it comes to people you go. Again, they won't matter in here. How did you like the other exam? You try all your potential. And then they give you the grade that you get. So even in this, we add 5 plus 1, that's 6, divided by the 6 of it gives you 1. That means you are 1. You and the people. So if that's it, you are another 2. So that's just how it goes like. So if you show me your friends, I can tell you your future. I can tell you where you are going. Just like people you have around you. It's simple, okay? There's no way you can say, no, me, I'm a good person, I'm just a very good person. No. Whatever they're doing, sooner or later, you're going to have that association, okay? So be mindful of the kind of people that you hang with, the friends, the people you call your friends. Make sure you surround yourself with people who challenge you, people who add value to you, people who, when you look at them, inspire you to do well in your school. Again, these people are not just physical people. Sometimes these people are good people. Again, how many of you here read books and take it? So this is good for the people who are reading. When you read books, books can take you to places that your body has never gone to. When you watch certain documentaries, there's one documentary that I would recommend that you watch. It's a documentary about one of the founding fathers of the country from USA, United States of America. This is where the documentary of Benjamin Franklin. Okay? Benjamin Franklin is the man that you see on the note. $1. No dollar. So the dollar has got that old man. He's known as Benjamin Franklin. He's one of the people who founded America, or the founding fathers of America. Okay? So when you watch such documentaries, they help you to get into the life of people that physically you wouldn't have access to. Again, so just from watching that content, you are surrounding yourself with greatness. You learn what is it that Benjamin Franklin was doing. how he does his things, or Elon Musk, or whoever that we are really interested in. There are so many documentaries about some of the greatest people to ever live in the planet. So watch documentaries, read books, and when you come to school, surround yourself with people who can value or who will add value to you. With all that, thank you for listening.